Resident Council, I'd like to call our Resident Association meeting to order. And I would ask our council lady, Kay Heflin, to lead us in a word of prayer.
Will you join me in prayer, please? Our Father, we give you thanks for the many blessings in our lives, especially this life at River Landing, where we can escape the trials and tribulations of our world. But keep us ever mindful of the needs around us, here and outside our gates. May our words and actions reflect your love for us with peace and kindness to all we meet. We give you thanks for those who keep us safe from illness and violence. We ask your blessings on those who are ill and those whose lives have been torn apart by the violence in our world. We give thanks and ask your blessings on the staff of River Landing, who provide us with this beautiful, joy-filled place to live. Amen.
First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody here this morning. It's good to see almost a full house, and that's great. It has been my privilege to serve as chair for the 2023 Resident Council. And the last 2 years I've been on, I served as chair this year. This year has been an exciting year. We've had celebrated our 20th anniversary. Our administrative staff, along with the anniversary committee and some of the residents who performed, did an outstanding job from January through September. And I'm so proud of everything that they did. And as a council, we provided a lot of momentum for that and supported that as best we could. Along with that, along with the administrative staff, we have provided furniture for the outside, new banners for the staff. We get donations to the Employee Appreciation Fund, as well as the Scholarship Fund, and we provided a meal for the gift shop. Knowing that the gift shop falls under the jurisdiction of the council, we provided a meal for them, and they do such a fantastic job. That's the reason we're able to provide what we provide for the community through what we sell in the gift shop. Our outgoing members, this council did a great job, and I'm just proud of them. And I am a little nervous this morning, so I hope you'll forgive me. I'm trying to maintain a little bit of composure, but it's a little bit hard sometimes standing and looking in front of all you guys. So our outgoing our outgoing members, and I think that most of them are ready to go. I know Barbara is, Barbara Fry, Neil Shields, and Marilyn Winter is not here. She's in the sunshine state of Florida for a month. Too bad that we can't be with them, I guess. And because of an illness, Ray McKinney is just serving 1 year, and so he's going to be going out too. Our remaining members is Karen Garinger, Kay Heflin, and Joe Lorber. I'm going to give the treasury report for Maryland, and then after that, each member of the staff council will come up and they will give highlights of what they did for their committees during 2023. The treasurer is responsible for keeping accurate records of deposits and expenses of all three accounts held by the resident council: the Employee Assistance Fund, the gift shop, and an individual resident council account, and shall not disperse any funds without the approval of the council. The Employee Appreciation Fund, I'm going to yield to Barbara for her report, but she did a fantastic job this year in helping raise the money that we raised for the Employee Appreciation Fund. The gift shop in 2023, the gift shop had a sale of $31,370 and expenses of $22,850 for a net surplus of $88,520. Another big thank you to all our gift shop volunteers for their hours of service. And we really do. And if anybody's interested in working in the gift shop, you just let Mary Beth know, and she'll be glad to talk to you, and she'll take a male or a female. So you males listen up. The resident council oversees the operation of the gift shop, and we use the surplus generated to make the purchases that will benefit the residents of River Landing. And this year, we had contribution to the scholarship fund, the employee appreciation fund. We gave a luncheon for the gift shop volunteers. We bought staff banners, new staff banners, and in conjunction with the administrative staff, we purchased outside furniture for the main building. So we were able to spend almost $9,500 for these products. I'm going to leave it there and have each individual come up and do their thing.
Have to make sure it's low enough for you all to hear me. So my job has been secretary of the council, which means basically that I take minutes at all of the meetings, and then I send them to the council and to Cindy Hawks for proofreading, for changes, for corrections that may be needed. Once those are done, I then send them to the all of the council and the administration, Tom, Cindy, and Lisa. Once those have been given to Cindy, she posts them on CareMerge, and she also has them filed in the library in a notebook. So if you're ever interested in knowing exactly what the council did in a particular month, you can go online to CareMerge, or you can go to the library and you can read the minutes and see what things we did, what issues we covered. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Joe Lorber, and I'm the head of the Hospitality and Social Committee. Rough job, right? The purpose of our group is to organize and deliver a number of welcoming activities for our new residents to the community. And these are basically three different areas. The first one is visitation. We have a group of visitors who meet with new residents on a one-on-one basis about a week after their arrival. They're presented with a tote bag containing information about River Landing and the local area. These are given with the goal of helping new residents get settled in as quickly as possible. The second activity is meet and greet. Our committee hosts a reception each month which welcomes new residents to the community. These meet and greet sessions are held on the first Wednesday of each month at 5 o'clock and usually last until about 6, and they're held in the main living room upstairs. River Landing provides hors d'oeuvres, and Oak Ridge Bank provides a bottle of wine, which is the prize for a drawing. During the last year, we had an average attendance of about 45 residents per month at this event. Everyone, established residents as well as new residents, are welcome to join us. And if we run out of room in the main living room, we'll just open the doors to the card room and go from there. And the last activity that just started this year is a dinner invitation, which is offered by a group that is led by Barbara Fry. About 1 month after a new resident arrives, Barbara and a group of ladies extend an invitation to the new residents, inviting them to dinner. This is one more way that we can make sure there are no lingering questions that can be resolved. This new activity seems to be a hit with the new residents as well as the volunteers. Over the past year, we have had the privilege to welcome 42 new residents, some of which are in the audience today, to River Landing, and they reside in about 25 different homes or apartments. One last thing, I want to thank all the visitors who are the backbone of this committee. Thanks to Cindy and the resident life department, the marketing department, and catering departments for your support and help. Finally, I also wish to thank all of you for letting me be a part of the resident council and the hospitality program. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Neil Shields. I've been privileged and it's been a real pleasure to serve as your representative, one of your representatives to the Residents Council for the last 2 years, and also as a liaison between the Golf and Grounds committees and the Golf and Grounds departments to the council. During the past 2 years, it's been my privilege to do all that, and but the most important part, you notice it's golf and grounds. It's not grounds and golf, so there are certain priorities in life. So let's talk about golf for a moment. In 2021, we averaged about 13 rounds of golf per day. 2022 went up to 15, and this last year was about 18. That's a significant increase. Of course, we got rid of COVID, basically, so that was a big part of that. You might also be interested to know that 46% of the folks who golf, who use the golf course, are residents. So 46%. I thought it would have been much higher than that, quite frankly. And that's a good thing, because we have the ones that are not residents. We've got residents of the future. We've got guests of residents. We've got staff members use it quite a bit. And but by far, the largest number of non-residents who use our golf course are local golfers. And some of them have been here even before River Landing was here, so when it was an 18-hole golf course. So it's kind of nice to have that kind of tradition continuing. That's good for marketing, and very importantly, it's also good for our budget. Because those folks, those outsiders spend a significant amount of money in the actual greens fees, but also in dining and buying things in the pro shop, and it's just a good system for everybody, so we're glad to have them part of our situation. Okay, let's take a quick look at our projects that we've had throughout the year on campus-wide. Unless you read my notes, you probably don't remember that last December, 13 months ago, last December and January, we had rain and more rain and more rain, kind of like yesterday. But we had about 5 inches above average for just those 2 months, and that caused some problems. We couldn't get the big equipment. Listen to that, Scooter would love that. They couldn't get the big equipment across the fairways to do major trimming, and that same sogginess caused some problems with the campus-wide too, because they couldn't do some of the things. We'd have a lot of winter weed chemicals that go on, and they get diluted real quickly. The pre-emergence gets diluted real quickly. So they had to walk that line between using enough chemicals to overcome the dilution because of the rain, but at the same time not using too much chemicals to get into the water system and being ecologically sound with that. One of the big challenges caused by the rain also has to do with the ponds out there. They would fill up and they go back down, they fill up and go back down. You may remember, well, I suppose it was March or April, seeing some folks around that I didn't recognize, with surveyor equipment and various things. That was the city. Those ponds are part of the citywide water system. The ponds themselves drain into the Deep River, which drains into Oak Hollow Lake, which drains into City Lake, which is a major contributor to the water system of High Point. So the city takes that very seriously. And they had noticed, as had we, our little island that slowly developed through the years. We fell in love with that little island. It was just a nice thing to have around, like an old friend. You'd walk by and see that little island out there. Unfortunately, the geese kind of liked it too, but that, it's a whole different issue. But and our grounds department did a really neat thing every Christmas. They had this chaise lounge out there and the palm tree, and it was kind of fun. But the city said, no, I'm sorry, we're going to have to get rid of that island, because those lakes, ponds were designed for a certain volume of water to be held, and with that island developing, it wasn't holding as much water as it used to. So we understand that. So we had to tear out the island, but our grounds department brought back a duplicate of the island. And there was a little raft we had this year. I thought that was getting neat. Kind of added to our festive celebration of the Christmas celebration situation. So it was nice that we have that. I hope that kind of continues. You guys take care of that, you new folks. Make sure that continues to happen. Another huge project, of course, was the paving and sealing and striping of all the, Helen and I were on vacation during a lot of that time, so we didn't have to suffer through it. But administration did a magnificent job in planning that. I mean, the traffic control was a big problem, and they made it not a big problem. It just was handled very, very, very well. And our chairman had mentioned earlier about the signs that were up about the world's greatest staff, and we still think we have the world's greatest staff. But during Christmas time, we took those signs down, if you noticed, and we replaced them with, you want to guess how many number, if you haven't gone around and actually counted the wreaths that we had up there, with 244 wreaths. And twice that number of those nice red ribbons. We bought new ribbons this year. We're all a little more weather sound and forgiving and nice bright red. It just makes a cheery situation. They went down on January 3rd, which they always do. I know it was January 3rd because our daughter and 2 granddaughters were in town after New Year's, and they were helping us celebrate. On January 3rd, we actually drove downtown and did some shopping, as granddaughters often do when they come to see grandparents. But about 5 or 6 hours later, we came back, and somebody in the back seat said, the wreaths have all gone. You know, where have the wreaths gone? What's the situation here? All the wreaths are gone, and that immediately triggered honor of Mamas and Papas 1966 hit, you know, all the wreaths are gone, the wreaths are gone. They're not here to stay, you know. North Carolina dreaming, you know, so we had fun with that. But the wreaths are gone, but not only the wreaths that added to our Christmas festivities, but also the lights back here on the hillside at nighttime, the blue lights up on the hill, you know, on Lynx Boulevard. We had the individual celebrations that residents were using, and the spectacular, spectacular new nativity scene that folks in Caldwell Village kind of designed. They made it up, and they printed it. You know, they did all the paint jobs, and our grounds department helped them put it in. And we were hoping there wasn't going to be a big frost to take those posts back out of the ground. And I think that worked out well too when that was removed just the other day. So magnificent around here, and you know, we're all sad to see those kinds of decorations go every year, but we know they'll be coming back. So that's just fine. Yeah, give them a hand. Also, something that changed in December was the addition. We replenish them almost every year, but the mulch around. But there were 2 big areas on campus that used to have pine mulch, and now everybody's used to have pine bark. Now they all have the regular pine tag mulch. Do we call them tags in North Carolina? I haven't been here long enough. Pine tags? Okay, Kentucky calls them pine tags, so you know, whatever. Anyhow, and pine needles have the big advantage of when the rains come, then it doesn't wash out onto the sidewalks, and that saves a lot of time and labor for our maintenance department, or the grounds department. But it also is much safer. That's good one. But also is much safer because people aren't tripping over it, and it's tidier looking. In fact, they even timed it so that when our contract service put those new pine needles in there, they timed it so that it would be after the leaves fall. Well, different thing. After the leaves fall, but before the Christmas open house, because it made it nice and tidy, and it was, you know, it's nice for them and nice for all of us, the same situation. So that was a big project that we worked on. I'd be very much remiss, of course, if I didn't thank Scooter and his team. But Scooter put up with my questions every month and worked his schedule out so we could kind of get the information back to the council. And they have been wonderful during 2023, and we've had a good 2023. And I'm looking forward to even a better 2024. Thank you.
Have to come down shorter. I was privileged to chair the Committee on Employees Appreciation Fund for 2 years in a row. Lucky me. But lucky you did a wonderful job. You people you're very generous. You did a marvelous job. We exceeded everybody's expectations. We put the new Christmas tree graphs up, and we had the top number at 240. So that kind of led everybody to believe their goal was 240, which really wasn't, but but we did it anyway, and we came close to 240. We raised $236,811. And checks were written for 23408, with 74 employees getting $1,000, and the 300 and some left getting various numbers of $1,000, depending on how long they'd been here and how many hours they worked. But once again, you guys did it. Thank you so much. You made my job easy. Thank you.
Well, good morning. I'm Ray McKinney, and it was my pleasure this year to represent the Wellness Center to the Residents Council. How many of you have not been in the Wellness Center in some sort of activity? Anybody in this room? So everybody knows about the Wellness Center. I think it's one of the crown jewels of River Landing. I think it is one of the reasons people select River Landing as their choice of retirement community. I'm really proud of what the girls that manage that unit do. In 2023, the wellness unit was managed by Whitney Ariza and Courtney Bliss and Jill Landstrom. Courtney, you know, has moved on to new opportunities, or Whitney has moved on to new opportunities, and Courtney will be taking over as our Director of Wellness. It's a busy place down there, and if you don't know about all the activities of the Wellness Center, let me run through a few things that happen down there. We have recurring activities, which include the gym for pickleball, corn toss, chair volleyball, and basketball. Those are one of the biggest attended activities, all of those things. We have the track for walking and jogging, workout equipment for strength and flexibility training. We have a pool for swim classes and leisure swimming. We have a game room. We have a fitness class in the fitness studio. We also have fitness classes in the pool, virtual fitness classes on TV, and fitness classes over at the healthcare facilities. The staff offers annual fitness assessments for residents to measure their own fitness level and to measure their individual progress or lack thereof. And we have resident hikes for the outdoor lovers. We have resident CPR training, and we have circuit weight training class that was added. And monthly, our staff training is provided, including CPR training for all the staff members. Highlights for 2023 include the circuit classes were initiated for individual residents. How many of you have signed up and taken the circuit weight training classes? That's very popular, and we've got not enough room for all the people that want to do that. We've added a personal trainer option for residents seeking a more specialized level of training or intensity of training. We've added additional Drums Alive and functional balance classes were added due to resident demand. We've had monthly off-campus hikes that were initiated. We began a fitness resident spotlight page monthly in the Encompass publication to highlight residents with exceptional commitment to fitness. We've initiated a community walking challenge with Friends Homes, Wellsprings, and Village of Brookwood. We held a wellness week, which included a sock hop, a trip to Victory Junction Camp, a walking tour of historic New Gardens Friends Cemetery, and a goat yoga program. That was really popular, to go and do yoga exercises with the goats. Finally, two programs that we're most proud of this year were, one was Pump It for Parkinson's. It was a nationwide event for senior living communities in partnership with the New Step Equipment Manufacturing Company and the National Institute for Fitness and Sports to raise awareness of Parkinson's disease. Our residents signed up for 15-minute intervals to walk and count their steps on the New Step machine. Our facility goal was 30,000 steps. We delivered 93,332 steps. Terrific participation. And we competed in the 2023 Bright Spire Olympics and obliterated the other communities. Our athletes had generated a total of 56 medals compared to 29 for Scotia Village, 29 for Glen Eyre, and 17 for Friends Home. So I think that was an outstanding performance from our Olympic competitors. So I'd like to also ask you to recognize and join me in recognizing with a round of applause Courtney Bliss as our new Director of Wellness, and to show our support for her taking over the group. And finally, I'd like to thank you for allowing me to serve on the Residents Council this past year and represent the Wellness Center. And I hope to see all of you down there in the coming year, or in this new year. Thank you.
I'm in the middle here somewhere. Good morning, I'm Kay Heflin, and I've been pleased to represent our Resident Council on Furl and the Scholarship Committee this year. The Free University of River Landing offered its first courses in the summer of 2019. With the vision and guidance of Jim Kalaki, a total of over 80 courses have now been offered. This year, 2023, there were approximately 500 registrations for the spring courses. For fall registration, our Resident Life staff came up with what we think is a wonderful new procedure. It avoided any knockdown, drag-out fights about who arrived first. And it resulted in 903 tickets submitted for classes. Registration for 3 of those classes exceeded the limits, and those presenters were kind enough to offer additional sessions. Walt Pilcher's writing classes resulted in another writing competition this spring, and that group has now become a spinoff of Furl, taking on a life of its own under Walt's guidance. I would like to recognize the other members of the Furl work group for 2023. Jack Berry, Sarah Leitner, Wiz Horner, Helen Shields, Jim Mabry, and Susan Sitnick. Jack and Sarah have rotated off the work group, and Lois Edwards and Dick Coe will be joining us. We have one other major change in the makeup of the work group. Jim Kalaki, whose vision resulted in Furl, decided to take leave, having given us a superb foundation on which to build. Jim, if you are here, please stand for a much-deserved round of appreciation for your great gift to River Landing. Please look for the spring course catalog around the 21st of this month, with registrations scheduled for February 7th, 8th, and 9th in the same procedure as last year. The other part of my job on the council allows me to be on the Employee Scholarship Committee. I say allows me because I found this to be a complete joy. The scholarship funds are managed by Marisa Ray of the Bright Spire Director of Development. The River Landing at Sandy Ridge Employment Scholarship Fund was established in 2016 in memory of Mary Walter Schaefer, former Director of Marketing and Sales. Since then, 4 more scholarships have been established: the Charles and Alice Fisher Educational Endowment Scholarship, the John and Vera Kroom Scholarship, the Burton and Regina Shepherd Educational Scholarship, and new this year, the Edna and James Landing Employee Scholarship. The Resident Council donated an additional $2,000 to the fund this year, and additional funds were given by River Landing Administration. Those residents serving on the Scholarship Committee are Harvey Loud, Chairperson, Gay Brown, Kathy Ricard, and Dick Hoban. We are assisted by Tom, Lisa, and Marisa. In June, we held interviews with our 22 applicants. What an amazing group of people. From our young college students to a single mother of 3 working full-time and going to nursing school. From applicants who were going down the road to GTCC, to a young man who was flying off to New York University. On July 15th, we held our award ceremony where all applicants received scholarships totaling over $28,000. If you have never been to this very special celebration, I urge you to be here in 2024. If you have attended, I know you'll be back.
You guys can see these guys did a great job this past year, and I'm so proud of them. At this time, I'm going to ask Karen Garinger, our secretary, to come up and present the nominees for 2024-25.
All right, it is my privilege this morning to introduce the candidates that we have for the open positions on the resident council. I'm going to introduce them individually and give you a brief background on each one of them. First, we have Bill Blue. Thank you. Bill is a certified public accountant and has worked in corporate accounting, tax prep, and trust and estates. He has a BA and an MA in economics, business administration, and accounting. He served on a YMCA board, several church boards, and boards for a community clinic and a family resource center. He is very involved in fitness activities, and he also, just for fun, I think, prepares the daily sales reconciliation and the monthly reports of the gift shop, kind of along his line. Second is Mary Irvin. Mary has a background as a paralegal in offices practicing civil law, family law, and construction law. She has an associate degree in paralegal technology and is a certified paralegal. She is a member of the North Carolina Bar Association in the paralegal, family law, and construction law divisions. She has been a notary public for 25 years and has worked at a YMCA, served on various church boards, and is a guardian ad litem in Forsyth County. She has participated in 5K charity runs and works with Habitat for Humanity and was a coordinator for a community neighborhood. Third is Scott Erickson. Scott has a background in the pharmaceutical industry. He is a futurist and has been a planning consultant with technology companies and financial institutions. He holds a BA, MA, an MED, and a PhD from the University of Minnesota. He co-authored in 2005 the book, 5 Regions of the Future, has served on numerous church council and on several POAs, which is Property Owners Association. He coached youth sports, has traveled extensively, and for 2 terms has taught the introduction to UFOs under the auspices of Furl. Fourth is Nancy Paxton. Nancy has a background in nursing and nursing administration. She has worked as the chief nursing officer and as a corporate nursing administrator at several hospitals, including Moses Cone. She has a nursing diploma, a BS, and an MS in nursing. She has served 2 terms as president of the American Organization of Nurse Executives. She enjoys motorhome travel and snowbirding in Florida. Not sure if you still do that, but maybe. Also, just a brief introduction on a 5th nominee, Dick Witt, who has been on the council for 2 years. Dick has served in the U.S. Marine Corps, worked with Guilford County Schools and Greensboro Parks and Recreation. He attended Guilford College and has volunteered for 51 years with the International Baseball Organization. He served for 21 years on the International Baseball Board and as director of the Pony Age World Series for 17 years. He served 2 years on the council, and this past year served as the chair. The council has voted unanimously for Dick to serve another year as the chair in 2024 due to a resignation from the council. So there you have your slate of nominees for the council. As you can see, various backgrounds, various experience, and well prepared to serve on the council as a member of the resident council. So at this time, I need to see if there are any nominations from the floor. All right, so moved. You've heard the motion. Can we have a second on that? It's been seconded. Thank you very much. Can I hear by voice the election of these members? Any opposed? Thank you very much.
Well, I certainly thank the association for support. In 2022, the council asked the 2023 council to review our bylaws, which we did. We had a committee to meet, went over the 2 pages of bylaws, and make 4 recommendations. In order to proceed with this, what we're going to do, I'm going to read each one individually. The council having made the motion, I will need a second from the association, and then we will have a discussion if we needed, and then we'll have a hand vote, and it's either yes, we accept, or no, we fail it. Okay? Number 1 is that we change River Landing at Sandy Ridge Resident Association bylaws. We dropped the S off of it simply because we want to maintain what they're doing with Bank of Oak Ridge, and it just makes everything more consistent. So the motion is made by the council to approve this change, and I would entertain a second from the association. Got a second. Are there any discussion on this one? Then by hand vote, all those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? That one passed. I was told that you don't mess with the bylaws. So that I don't think the bylaws have been looked at for, I don't know, 10, 11 years, I believe. So we took a chance. The second one is to change the purpose of the association. What it originally reads is the purpose of the association is to work with the administrative staff in order to communally make River Landing at Sandy Ridge the best retirement community in the country. And we are recommending the change. The purpose of the association is to work with the administrative staff in order to communally make River Landing at Sandy Ridge attractive, efficient, and effective. Just seems more realistic to the council. So that's a motion. Need a second? You got a second? Any discussion?
Instead of it as being as efficient as possible, to make it the most efficient possible for all of these things. That's what I would propose.
So you're adding most attractive, most effective, and most efficient.
Yes. As much as possible.
Council want to amend their motion to say that? So moved. Second. All in favor? Would the second like to amend their motion to that? Okay. Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Motion carries. The third change, Article 4, Resident Council Section Purpose, second sentence, it is desired to have the association have equal representation from the council from both apartment residents, cottages, villas, townhome residents. And change it to it is a desire of the association to have equal representation on the council from apartment, cottages, villas, townhome, and condo residents. And the reason is to add condo to describe Aberdeen and Turnberry instead of calling them hybrids. Say again? No, nothing that we have here at River Landing do we own anyway. But again, this is a recommendation from the council. I do need a second. I got a second. And now the discussion. If people's not happy with it, then we don't vote for it. That's the bottom line. We know coming into River Landing that we don't own anything. And in talking with marketing people, when they show the hybrids, nobody knows what a hybrid is. So we were just looking for a common word that would make more sense than a hybrid that people did understand. Bottom line. Could call them apartments. But the motion is to change it to condos. Any other discussion? All those in favor, raise your hand. All those opposed? So change pass. Article 4, the duties of the secretary, the second sentence. The secretary shall conduct correspondence as needed by the association and council, as well as keep account of all funds of the association. And we're going to change that to the secretary shall conduct the correspondence as needed by the association and council. The secretary no longer has anything to do with the treasurer and the money. So we just eliminated that. Could I have a second? Got a second in the back? Yes, sir.
The question is, it may be silly, but who is administrating the money?
The treasurer.
Okay, and so of course he or she is, accountable to the council and so forth.
That's
right?
correct.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Oh, we got another one? Another question? A majority? Of those present, yes. Of the people present. So any other discussion on this particular item? All those in favor, raise your hand. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. So at this time, I'd like to have Mr. Tom Smith come up, our executive director.
It's always fun to follow a bylaw changes report, so thank you very much for that. Very excited about that. I know you all are very excited about the bylaw changes, but I'm going to start out by saying you all, I don't think, have a really full appreciation for how great a group you have up here. These are extraordinary folks who represented you very well as your council this year, and so I really would like for you all to give them a really big hand because they've really done a great job for you. Okay, so I've got a bunch of information to go over. while I was sitting here, I reminded myself I had a couple more things that I didn't share that I'm going to make a note of because I want to make sure I share them. And let's see, Sandy Ridge Road. Okay, so I always like to start out a little bit with some of our marketing information. And so as of today, we have 347 of our 354 independent living units occupied. That's 98% of our units are occupied. That's fantastic. It goes without saying, Betsy, Martha, and Michaela do a great job up there. I hope you all know that and appreciate that. They've been very consistent and do a great job. In assisted living, we have 52 occupied out of 56. That's 93%. And in skilled nursing, we have 57 occupied out of 60 today. Now, that probably will change 6 times today, you know, because people coming in and out of skilled nursing, but that's okay. 57 out of 60 is what we have at the moment. That's 95%. Total number of residents, 638. We have 638 residents that live here at River Landing. That's 189 couples. So it used to be before Glen Eyre started their expansion that nobody could come anywhere near to us as far as the number of couples that we have here. You know, you could add all the other communities up, their couples together, and it wouldn't equal the amount of couples that we have here at River Landing. We are very attractive to couples, and it's great that we have so many couples that are here. Our occupied and sold rate is 100%, not surprising. So listen to this. We have 731 households on our wait list. That's not people, that's households. So if you think about it, we have 354 units. If you multiply that times 2, that's 708 households, right? We have 731. So we need to get rid of all of you and then bring in the next group and get rid of the rest of them too, and then turn it over again. So that is our goal for 2024, is to do that. So no, I'm kidding, obviously, but you know, how interesting is this? It was 731 today. Last year at this time when I was talking to you all, 583 were on our list. So we have added, if my math's right, that's almost 150 net that we've added in the last year. So what does that mean? That means that you all were extremely smart in coming in early to River Landing and being here, because there's a lot of other people that want to be just like you and be here. So hopefully you can take some real pride in knowing that you all made a really great selection coming here. And I can speak for staff by saying, really glad you are here. We had 29 move-ins this past calendar year. 29, that's 29 households. That represents 50 residents. We had 21 couples and 8 singles. And out of the 50 residents, 27 were women and 23 were men. So men were catching up to the women. It's getting really good to see that at this point. So usually it's 2-to-1 ratio of women to men, but actually we've really been more like 60%, 40% in the past as far as women to men. Okay, just changing gears here. We've been doing, I think you all know, we do this We Care program where we are recognizing staff who go above and beyond. We've had some training this year to do some customer service training with our staff. And so we're going to be rolling out a new We Care program to really just kind of highlight the efforts of our staff who go above and beyond. So we'll have more information coming out about that, but you know there's some places here that you can go and you can fill out a form and kind of share something that a staff member has done. We're gonna try and tie that in with this customer service training that we've just been completing, and so like I said, we'll be having some information about that and rolling that out. But I'm really excited about that we're going to try and marry the two together. We also do a We Care award winner for the year, and so we have selected somebody from 2023. And if you listen to the next Churn show, you'll be able to hear who that person is. So I'm not going to tell you today. I'm sorry. I'm going to just leave you wondering and wondering and wondering at this point. So anniversary dinner. How many are planning to come to the anniversary dinner on the 25th? I hope you all are planning to come. It'll be a great event. 21st anniversary. January 30th is actually the day that we had 21 years ago that we had moved our first residents in. And it's pretty neat to sit here and think about what that was like back then. The first couple moved into the building. I'll say this, we had a couple that moved into the outside, and we had a couple that moved into the building. But think about being here in this big building, first night, and you were the only ones in this building, and one security guard is sitting at the front desk. That's what we had the first night that we were open. And obviously that's changed a lot in 21 years, but how cool is that? Okay, again, switching around a little bit because I'm gonna kind of hit a lot of different areas. One area that I'm happy to be talking to you about is COVID, and the reason I'm happy to talk to you about that is because we don't really have any right now. So, we've got, yeah, that's good. It's interesting. You all might remember that about a month and a half ago, we had an outbreak in the healthcare center. And so, our corporate office was like, it was kind of interesting. Our corporate office was looking at us like, well, what do you think caused the outbreak? And I said, COVID is contagious. And it does spread pretty quickly. And once you get it in, it's hard to keep it out. So now, we get to the holidays, the big holidays, Christmas and New Year's, and all of our sister communities are having big outbreaks of COVID right now. And we're not. And they said, well, why aren't you having any outbreak of COVID? And I said, because we already had it. We don't have anybody left that hasn't had it in the healthcare center. So, COVID is one of those things, right? We want to get past COVID. I'd hate talking about COVID. How many of you hate talking about COVID? I'm just fed up talking about COVID. But unfortunately, it's going to be like the flu, y'all. It's just going to be something that's going to be out there. It's just going to morph over time, and we're just going to have to keep dealing with it. Fortunately, though, I will tell you, the COVID that hit this last time was very mild. It was very contagious, but it was very mild, and a lot of our folks didn't even know they were symptomatic at this point. So anyway, right at the moment, we're doing very well. We still track that. We still ask you, obviously, if you're sick, don't come out of your home. Don't give it to anybody else, please. And that doesn't matter whether that's COVID or flu or RSV or anything else that you might have going on. Okay, enough about COVID. Annual appeal this past year. David and Harriet Keys were our residents that ran the campaign for us this year. You all raised $222,000 for the annual appeal this year. Our goal was $155,000, and we raised $222,000. That's amazing. Yeah, please, that's amazing. The challenge gift, you might remember early last year, we had a challenge gift from an anonymous resident for $60,000. And I think that really helped contribute to us getting to that amount. But that's just phenomenal. I think about that, and I think about the Employee Appreciation Fund, $236,000. And that's $500,000 right there that you all were very generous about and gave to both of those very worthwhile causes. So thank you. Okay, so I'm going to get to one of the items that I think everybody's been kind of curious about, and that is, what are we going to do? Have we made any decisions about the clinic yet at this point? So I will tell you, hot off the press, we have made a decision as far as the company that we're going to be using for the clinic operations and for medical director and our nurse practitioner. Remember that Wake is who we've been using. Wake Atrium is who we've been using. Just to remind you that they, in contract negotiations with them, they came back to us and they wanted a 700% increase in their cost. And there is no way we could do that for you all. That would probably mean a 3% mid-year increase in your rates just to cover their cost. And so we decided we were going to go look and see if there's other players out there that could do this for us without charging an arm and a leg. And quite honestly, Wake, they didn't tell us this, but they kind of told us this. They really don't want to do this anymore. You might remember that we share medical directors with Pennyburn. Dr. Piazza works here and he works at Pennyburn, and they're doing the same thing at Pennyburn. They're trying to pull out of this side of the business. So we went looking for another provider, and we had two that we talked to very extensively. And I'll tell you both of them. One was Cone. We talked to Cone about this, and we're excited about the possibility of working with Cone. But in the end, I will tell you that Cone really couldn't take us on right now. So Cone really ended up not being really much of an option. The other option is a company called Curana, C-U-R-A-N-A, Curana. And they specialize in doing these types of services for continuing care retirement communities. As a matter of fact, they have 9 CCRCs here in North Carolina that they provide these types of services for. So they already have a medical director for us. We are working on the last parts of an agreement with Amber to keep Amber here because we think it's very important to keep Amber here. She's great, and we love her. And so I really feel good about that that's going to happen. But we will have a new medical director, and we will have somebody new over in the healthcare center providing nurse practitioner services. So we are just in the first part of this process to be able to do this. I know there'll be a lot of questions about this. I've already talked to Curana about coming in and doing a presentation to the residents on how this is going to look and feel. So we'll be setting that up over the next couple of weeks and have a lot more information for you. But I will tell you, just talking to the 2 candidates that we had, Curana was always the one that I thought was going to be the best one for us. Is it going to be a little different than what we have at Wake? Yes, it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to have to get used to some changes. There's going to be some good things about going with Curana, and there's going to be some things that might be a little bit challenging for us. But I'm telling you, I really think that we're going to hit a gold mine with this. I really think that they know what they're doing with this, and I think it's going to be a really great program for us. So more information coming about that, but Curana is the name of the company that we're going with. Okay, another exciting thing to talk about is the merger update. How many of you are excited about the merger coming up here? So yeah, you know, I talked to Tim yesterday, Tim Webster, and I said, Tim, I have this association meeting tomorrow with the residents. What do you want me to say about the merger? And he goes, so he did. He talked to me a good bit about it. And he said, just there's a couple things that you probably, he says, first of all, I've got an update that's coming. And he says, a lot depends on whether or not Wiz Horner's there as far as what I want you to say, because if Wiz is there, I want you to say this. If Wiz isn't there, I want you to say, no, I'm kidding, obviously, about that. So just some quick notes that he gave me for the merger. They have established what they call an organizing committee. And the organizing committee is charged with working on things like, what are the finances going to look like? They're working on the mission and vision statements. They're coming up with a new name for what the organization will be. And I don't think it's going to be Wellspire, or it's going to be one of those kind of things. Or Bright, let's see, was it Bright Spring? I don't know. Anyway, it was just all kinds of different things they were coming up with. So anyway, the interesting thing about this to me is I said, when do you think this is going to happen? And so he is telling me that the timing is a little bit off right now. And the reason for that is apparently we have to file an IRS determination letter for the new organization. And so this is for tax exempt status. And so there's no set time as far as how long it would take the IRS to get back to us about this. So it could be up to 6 months. He said it could be 30 days to 6 months. So we'll see. That's about all I have on the merger. But Tim said he'll be putting out an update to you sometime soon. But at this point in time, the merger is definitely still going through, and so we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. So I'll tell you what, if you got questions, you can come up and see me afterwards. I'd rather not do that here in the meeting. I got too much stuff to be able to do that, and it's already 11:30. St. Andrews. So you may remember that we're getting ready to get started on that. We've selected a construction company, which is Frank L. Bloom, and we had a meeting yesterday, and we're going to actually start on January 29th. That's the date that we've selected to give it a shot to go. We have been waiting for a couple things to kind of fall into line. Ever since COVID, you all know this, just the delivery of certain items that we need to be able to do, like doors and windows and things like that. Just you can't count on how long it's going to take to be able to get this stuff. And the doors right now are like a 12-week delivery time. So it's a long time to be able to get stuff that we would need to be able to do this. But we're going to go ahead and move ahead, and January 29th is our expected day. We will have, I've already asked the construction company and architect to come in and have a meeting with the family members for those residents that are in St. Andrews, because obviously those are the first ones we need to get to. So they're going to probably do that the week of January 22nd. But sometime next month, I'm going to ask them to come in and do a similar thing for anybody here that might be interested in what's going on over there, and have them do a presentation for you all. So if you're interested in what we're doing over there, we'll bring them in, let you get a chance to kind of see firsthand what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be doing it. So we'll have that for you sometime in February. Okay, a couple more things real fast. There's not much of an update on Sandy Ridge Road at this point, other than we have been told by North Carolina Department of Transportation that Duke Power is actually going to be starting some of the utility work maybe as early as March. They may be coming in. You all, a lot of you hopefully were here when we had the presentation from NCDOT and City of High Point, when they told us that they're talking about having the contractor hired by the July timeframe, and that they thought they would get started sometime at the end of this year. So everything I'm hearing is that's still on track at this point. So, but I thought it was interesting that they're going to get started with the utilities, and so we'll see. And I know there were some things about, whether we were in phase 1 or phase 2, but I will tell you that we got reassured again by the DOT that this is all going to depend on the contractor that they have coming in to do this, and that they may just end up just kind of keep working through the whole thing continuously, and it may not really be a phase 1, phase 2. So I just don't know exactly what that's going to happen yet. When they make a selection on contractor and we get an idea what's happening there, hopefully we can invite them back in and get a feel for what's going to happen there for sure. Okay, I got one more really big thing that I want to share with you all. You all were so kind and generous, with your donations to the Employee Appreciation Fund this year. Council was very appreciative of the flags, the pole flags that they put up about the world's best staff. By the way, they look great, don't they? They're awesome looking. I really love that. So I had after the Christmas party we had here, where staff got their checks, I had several staff members come to me and say, "Is there something that we can do for the residents to show them that how appreciative we are of them?" And I talked to them about that, and they said, "Can we do something maybe with the flags?" And I said, "Well, what do you have in mind?" So they did a contest, and then they raised the funds. And so I'm pleased to tell you that we're going to be putting up flags from the staff. Let's say, "We love our residents." So there was a contest to see the design for the flags, and some of the wording from some of the staff members was so much that the wording that it would be about this size, right? So that wasn't going to work. But fortunately, somebody who's sitting in the audience here with us had the bright idea of coming up with this design, and that's Michelle Jones over here. She came up with the design for this. So you'll see them as you're driving around the campus. As a matter of fact, Scooter just took the brackets and the flags today. I think that he'll have them up probably by the end of the week at the latest, so hopefully you'll get a chance to see those. But I just want to tell you, your staff love you. Your staff love you very much, and they wanted to, in a small way, say thank you for what you've done for them. And so I know a lot of you are like, "Oh, no, don't let the staff give anything towards it," but this was really cool to see it just kind of happen organically like this, and staff wanting to be able to share this with you all. So, so thank you very much for that. And I'm just going to sign off by saying thank you very much for letting me be your executive director. I really love this job. I made the mistake of telling Tim one time that I could do this job without getting paid for it, and so he's never lived that down. I've never lived that down, to be honest with you. But, we are family here. This is a family here. There's so much love in this community, and I just appreciate it very much. When I leave my family at home and tell them I'm going to my work family, I mean that. I know things aren't perfect here. I know that we still have things that we got to keep working on. Hence job security, because there's always things that are either broke that we need to fix, or improvements that we want to make. But I hope I hope and pray that you all really are happy about your decisions to move here. You know, we've got a great community. We've got great residents who care about each other and help each other and support each other. We've got a great support team with our staff. We aren't getting much turnover now anymore. Our staff are really stabilizing, which is really good because I think we could be more consistent in what we're doing. And so I'm really excited about 2024 for you and for us. And so I just want to tell you I love you. Thank you so much again for letting me have the privilege of being your executive director. And I hope you all have a great 2024. Thank you.